Hey, it's Matt Roush,
And Mike Brennan.
and we're back with another episode of the M Squared TechCast right here at Podcast Detroit and other places you find fine podcasts. We've got a great show for you today. Mike, why don't you go ahead and introduce our first guest?
Yeah, it's actually the theme of today's show is healthcare. We have all the various guests are in healthcare in some way or another. And we have Sabastian Alvim, who is with the Accelerate Health program up in Flint. And it's been around for a number of years nationally, and they've been doing it in Flint. I believe you said for 3 years, wasn't it?
Yeah, 3 years, exactly.
Okay, let's start off with, we always assume that people watching don't have any idea what our guests are going to be talking about or any background. So why don't you kind of take the ball and explain how Accelerate Health works?
Okay, well, thank you, Michael, for having me. So XlerateHealth was founded in 2013 in Louisville, Kentucky, and expanded to Flint in 2018. And I would say that ultimately XlerateHealth is an accelerator that helps promising startups secure customers and attract funding. And that said, XlerateHealth selects top healthcare startups to participate in an intensive 12-week bootcamp. And they work with a team of coaches and mentors that have a long experience in commercializing innovative life sciences, medical technology, and digital health technologies.
So you've been doing this for 3 years. And you've had various cohorts, and of course now you're inviting the 2021 folks to apply to be in that cohort. But how has the track record gone from the previous cohorts? I mean, how many have you processed through there? Have any of them moved on to commercialization or been acquired or anything along those lines?
So to date, we have over 90 companies in our Accelerate Health portfolio that have raised over $200 million. Huh. And I would say that the perfect stage of companies that came to us are pre-revenue with close to do a pilot. And after this 12-week bootcamp, many of them find the right path and the right way to jump to the market and to start delivering it and sell it to potential customers.
So where was Accelerate Health founded, and how did Flint come to your attention? How did you wind up in Flint?
So Accelerate Health was founded by Jackie Wilmot and Bob Saunders. They are currently based in Louisville, Kentucky. Jack has a long experience on the payer side, and Bob has a long experience on the venture capital side with a focus in healthcare. And they came together to start this acceleration program in Louisville. And while Louisville, there is an interesting concentration of healthcare companies in that area of Kentucky. And later on, they got engaged with we got engaged with Diplomat Pharmaceuticals and the Mott Foundation and other players in Flint. And at the time, they were trying to come up with a new healthcare hub, and that's where we came up. They invited us to run this innovation program and to start an ecosystem and to build up an ecosystem around healthcare.
And again, you were telling me before we started why Flint, because I questioned, gee, it didn't seem like Flint doesn't immediately come to mind when I think of healthcare, but apparently I'm wrong, right?
Yes, but that's always a great question, and there are several reasons that explains Flint. First of all, there is a very welcoming community that embraces entrepreneurs and startups. And this ecosystem has multiple resources. We find 3 universities and 4 health systems in this region with the doors open to meet with entrepreneurs, test their products, conduct studies, or even pilot. That's the experience that we are having here since 2018. And for example, the University of Michigan or Early Medical Center or even Mid-Michigan Health actively engage with startups during the bootcamp. And besides these stakeholders piece that is very important for startups, they can also find and count a large community of angel investors that are local or nationwide, and venture capital firms. And for example, we're partnering with Invest Detroit or the Michigan Biomedical Venture Fund or BioStar Capital or SkyPoint Ventures. And all of them are willing to sit with entrepreneurs during the bootcamp to provide guidance and share the best practices to raise capital and to achieve the right people that can help them and we call it the smart cash for them.
All right. So what sort of applicants are you looking for? What kind of companies?
In the healthcare universe, we are industry agnostic. We work with digital health, medical devices, therapeutics, diagnostics, healthcare services companies, and solutions for payers. But to be more precise, we look for early stage companies and entrepreneurs working in solutions that solve a pain in the healthcare marketplace. And the ideal candidate must have a committed team or a founder that is committed to move forward with the company. And the product, I would say, must be ready to pilot or near that stage. And once we are in Flint, we look to engage with health entrepreneurs in this area and Genesee County.
And so what does it take to, you were saying what it takes to qualify, but what do you get when you join the cohort? I mean, do they have to pay? Is it all free? How does it work?
No, we take, they don't have to pay. We take a very small equity stake of the companies. It's 2.5%. They can see it on our website. And what they will have during this 12-week bootcamp, it's the access to work with all the coaches and mentors, and they can meet with subject matters of the critical areas of healthcare, including FDA regulatory path, intellectual property, or product design, among others. And during this 12-week bootcamp, we tackle different topics. They must, let's call it, redefine their product or service, and they come up. We help them coming up with a value proposition that is connecting with the customers on the other side, and that are willing to pay for it.
So how have the first years of the Flint program gone? Are there any particular success stories you'd like to share? Any particular clients?
Yes, I think that's when we start thinking about that, that's the exciting part. And we see companies making good progress. On top of my head, I can mention Insubic, who recently won the prestigious Health Longevity Challenge Award from the National Academy of Medicine, and is piloting at local hospitals. Another company completed a study at Early Medical, and another one is demoing with a hospital and a clinic.
Now, in the age of COVID, where everyone's doing virtual, I assume that your accelerator requires in-presence, or is that done virtually as well?
It's virtually. Actually, during COVID last year, we decided to move everything to COVID to make sure that no one, or to ensure that everyone is safe. And that was one of the challenges that we had last year, moving to a new platform where people can work together in a virtual way.
So does that mean then you can attract a much wider field of candidates? Because I mean, if you have to be an accelerator for 12 weeks in Flint, one would think you'd have to be in Flint. So does this mean now that you can say work with folks out of Grand Rapids or Traverse City or all points all around the state, or what?
Yes, well, that's the beauty of virtual and digital. And it can happen in these two ways. People outside of this area can come work with us and have access to the resources of this area, but the other way around. So that was the interesting piece of this year, having local entrepreneurs connecting with other parts of the country, mainly with coastal areas or with hub techs all around the country. So that's very interesting stuff.
So how many companies are you looking for in this latest cohort, and what is the deadline to apply for it?
The deadline is April 30th, and people can apply on our webpage. And the program starts by July 15th. And we accept up to 6 companies. So everyone who is listening are very welcome to visit our webpage. That's all.
And how many, typically in past cohorts, how many companies have applied? I imagine quite a few, right?
Oh, yes. So I would say that up to 100 applies for the programs.
Okay, so tough criteria then.
Yeah. Well, when we start in May meeting the teams and we go through that process, and I believe one of the most important things it's the technology that companies are working with, but also how we engage with the teams, and if on the other side there is a solid team who wants to move forward and make this happen.
Okay, we're down to our last minute. Why don't you give that website address for people that so they can apply to your program?
Okay, so people can apply on XlerateHealth.com, or just reach out to me and send me an email if they have any other questions about the program. But I'm looking forward to receive all the applications in this area and from Michigan.
Traditional four-year students love Lawrence Technological University's thriving campus life, but LTU has always met non-traditional students' needs too. Lawrence Tech offers over 100 degree and certificate programs that can get adult students started or back on track. And most of our classes are conveniently offered evenings at our beautiful Southfield campus or online, so you can balance your social, family, and work life even while you power up your career. Lawrence Tech, where Blue Devils dare.